What's the deal? What's the deal? PolitiKan the podcast. We back again here at Riverside Studios. We got a Sip and Paint coming up this weekend, man. We got Stephen G live. Got a comedy show. We going all the way up, man. We bring in the homies, man, so we can get to these topics and get to talking about these weak ass Lakers, man.
I'm
What's the deal, fools? What's the deal?
We the stars,
man.
baby.
I'm fuck you up, man.
Hey,
You keep
The stars,
disrespecting my
huh?
motherfucking Lakers, man.
What's that you got
know
on?
how it goes. Oh, since I'm always repping the 661, this is one of the first travel ball team jerseys I ever played for, the Shooting Stars. And ironically, people didn't realize how big I was back in the day, so it still fits.
Y'all weaksters, man. So
Hey,
Oh,
bro.
let's get straight into
Hey,
these
everybody got a
Lakers.
jersey on. Look at that.
I know it's
Yes,
Jersey
sir.
Day.
I didn't know it was Jersey Day. I didn't get the memo. I did not get the memo. I would have worn a Laker jersey. My stuff, look, the way my closet is set up, I can't find no jerseys.
So let's get to this first topic, man. Today, against the sorriest team in the league, of course, the Lakers are great at PR, man. So they want to guarantee a victory when they unveil this. What is this 17th banner in Staples Center? So the Lakers unveil their bubble championship in Staples Center tonight against the Houston Rockets. Man, sorry ass Lakers, man. Go ahead first, Alvin, since
Well.
you the Lakers guy.
Speaking of the Lakers, I want you guys to see I got my braids back like high school. Shout out to AI and Tyronn Lue. You know what I mean? That step over shot, the Lakers still won. Don't forget that. We always have haters talking about the championships we get. Speaking of Allen Iverson, arguably one of the best finals performances ever by any player who didn't win the title, including LeBron James's attempt at beating that Warriors team the first time. But let's just be honest, Kalum. I'm not going to be like an average Laker fan, okay? I'm going to be a super Laker fan. I'm sorry that it continues to happen every few years that we get reminded that the Clippers are just the little brothers of one of the biggest franchises in all of American history. I've talked about this randomly, but I'm going to go ahead and say it again since today is banner night. Jerry Buss was the first owner in all of sports to bring in cheerleaders. Ironically, the Lake Show, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, James Worthy, the Nola passes, the dunks, all of that. I mean, if not for the Lakers, we wouldn't even be talking on this podcast right now because any sports wouldn't even be relevant. We wouldn't talk about Tom Brady's deflated balls. We wouldn't talk about Wayne Gretzky in hockey. We wouldn't talk about Sammy Sosa, with the Chicago Cubs, and now he's bleached his skin to where he's lighter than Michael Jackson was. None of this would have ever happened if it was not for the Los Angeles Lakers and their dominance. So I just wanted to let all the Laker fans know things like this come from haters all the time. So just put that smile on. Let it be known that the next contender is the Boston Celtics, who also have 17 titles. And next is Chicago Bulls at 6. And nothing else matters. You tell me how many the Clippers have, and then I'll shut up.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
2021, we getting this first one. That's all that matters. After this year, you're gonna see how many we got because it's gonna be one.
It sounds similar. Hey, yeah, doesn't it sound like what he said last year before the bubble?
Stop.
Which was supposed to be the excuse.
Let's hear you, Tez. What you got to say on this?
Number 17. Number 17. Yeah, this one is not it's not as special as the other ones, I can say, because it's a bubble banner. Yeah, I'm happy, but I don't know. It's mixed feelings. It's not exciting. It's gonna be as exciting as the other ones. We really wasn't that much competition. Maybe number 18 will be better this year when we get it, because we know the Los Angeles Clippers ain't getting shit. Period. Nigga, you niggas ain't getting nothing. Western Conference Finals, nothing. Y'all niggas, it's a toss. The West is a toss-up right now, so I don't guarantee nothing, Caleb. I don't want your heart to be broke, and you getting married this year. It's a good year, man. So don't spoil it with that shit. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know you tired of all this bullshit, man.
Y'all good.
Before I go on my little rant right quick, I like to give a shout out to the man that just spoke, because he's a Laker fan, but he said something that most of y'all Laker fans won't say. And the man said he ain't giving much to the 17 championship. Why? Because he said it was a bubble championship. Let's all respect the man that just dropped the mic right now, because he recognized. He came out and he said what the other Laker fans won't say is you won a bubble championship, and the man said there was no competition.
It wasn't.
No competition.
No comp.
Respect that man. That man now has my respect.
No comp. It was no comp.
That man has my respect. While you other Laker fans like, oh, we got 17. We didn't go against KD. We didn't go against all these other players, and we over here celebrating like we did something. You didn't do nothing. Who you went against? You went down a depleted Miami Heat team.
Correct.
That man wasn't even 100%. Like, come on now. Now, everybody knows I'm a Laker hater, so I ain't never gonna give respect to the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about the season that's at hand, though. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about the season at hand, because in the beginning of this season, correct me if I'm wrong, Calum. In the beginning of the season, some of our other panels, that's on our panel and everything was like, Lakers, we gonna get this one. Oh, we gonna be top of the West. Y'all in the play-in tournament. Let me keep going. Correct me if I'm wrong, Calum. They were talking all that stuff about the Lakers being so good. Y'all are one game above the New York Knicks. And the New York Knicks wasn't even supposed to make the playoffs. Now let's get into the real topic at hand. This is my campaign for Derrick Rose as Sixth Man of the Year. Derrick Rose, Sixth Man of the Year, our most improved player, because everybody wrote off my boy Derrick Rose. And guess what? My boy Derrick Rose, even though we lost yesterday to the Lakers had trouble with Derrick Rose yesterday. Put some respect on my boy's name. And I'm sorry, Calum, I gotta get on you now. Derrick Rose cooked your Clippers. So the Clippers think they're gonna go to the Western Conference Finals, and y'all got cooked by my boy Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose been putting up young MVP numbers. I mean, last night he scored 26 on y'all. He scored like 25 or something like that. He doing his young MVP on y'all. So put some respect on my boy Derrick Rose. Forget the Lakers. Nobody cares about the bubble championship. I want to see what y'all do this year. And in that play-in tournament, don't sleep on Steph Curry, because you might lose.
I do want to say that it does matter if we win this year. It's like this is going to be a big test for the Lakers. If we do not win this year, I just feel like by the fans, it's going to be like the fans is, besides the disappointment, this is the time where we're supposed to. We got the team to compete. Now it shouldn't be no excuses. I just want to see. I want to see competitive basketball. That's what I want to see. And this year, it's competitive. Just be real. It's going to be competitive. You can't put one team above the other because somebody's going to get shocked this year. For sure.
I like this man.
But you know,
this
look,
man
look,
is not your average Laker fan.
Hold on. I got to say something, though, because
Caleb.
when y'all hyping the Lakers, but
we're not hyping
Dennis Schroeder, where's Dennis Schroeder? Injured? Will he be 100%?
No.
No. Anthony Davis had two good games since he's been back.
Hold on, sir.
Can you really trust injury-prone Anthony Davis to become 100%?
They're
And
struggling
LeBron
to get
already
games.
came out and admitted that he's not going to be 100% ever again. So y'all
Okay,
really think that
Okay.
with a 80% AD, with a new transition LeBron, because he's never going to be the same again, according to himself. And we're not making this up. This is straight from the nigga's mouth. I'll never be the LeBron again.
But wait,
And
hold
then,
on, Caleb.
come on, man. Y'all really think that y'all got enough? Andre Drummond is clogging the hole.
Hold on.
He's just sitting there clogging the hole. How do y'all? He's not a good fit. Alex Caruso, isn't he out? And he's trash anyway.
Hold on. Let me go ahead and throw the coaches. I'm gonna pull my coach's card. Right. Well, when you really think about how the bubble situation went down, that was a toss-up for anyone to win. To be honest, for Miami Heat to have made it to the Eastern Conference Finals and then made it to the finals with like literally knocking off Giannis after he just won a second consecutive MVP, you can't take anything that happened in that bubble as a traditional season because it was in quote unquote a bubble, just like a child who can't be touched. There's nothing that you could say is the same about in that bubble than outside the bubble. When you look at this year, before LeBron got hurt, he was in the top 3 conversation for MVP. Before the trade of Derrick Rose over to the Knicks.
What about now?
I'm just saying, hey, before that trade, the Knicks were looking like a play-in.
We're about 4 games out of the playoffs. What about now?
Let this man talk.
We're not talking about game 30 when he was when he was number 3. We're talking about 4 games away from the playoffs. You guys are going to be 7th or 8th seed in the play-in tournament.
Listen,
Right.
You're gonna get Phoenix or Utah, which have the best records in the league. So you're gonna get one of the top 2 teams in the league in the first round after the play. And the top 3 players: Dennis Schroeder, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis sitting out today again because of injury. Correct?
You know why? Look,
because
LeBron James just came back. LeBron James just came back because he can't play in back-to-backs. So he sat out yesterday so that he could play today when they unveil the banner, right? So you're talking about players that can't, and your 2 stars can't even play back-to-backs, and we're 4 games away from the playoffs. And you guys have to play an early tournament and play in.
Listen.
Are you telling me that you're the favorites to win the championship?
I never said that. I never said that. I never said we were the favorites. I never said that.
No.
I never said we were the favorites. Never.
This is what it is, Caleb. Look, this is the truth behind. This is why I said a coach's perspective, right? If I'm coming off of a championship, regardless what other people say about the asterisk around it, I know what my team is capable of, right? Regardless what LeBron James is doing right now, injured or not, statistically speaking, he is the game changer in the league right now. If you have all of the Laker team healthy, which right now you will never see them until the playoffs start. LeBron James isn't stupid. LeBron James is not stupid. He's not hurt. He came back just to get a taste. He came back to get a taste. He said, "Oh, AD's ready to kill." And Drummond's excited because he's going to get the biggest check he's ever gotten in his life this summer. So what's going to happen is LeBron's going to come into the game as a 3. Anthony Davis is going to play the 4. Drummond's going to play the 5. There's nothing in the West that big than those 3 gentlemen down low on the offensive side. The Lakers are the number 1 defensive team in the NBA, regardless.
No, they're not.
Hold on, stop it. They were.
We got to move on. Hold on. Because when you're talking about the deepest team in the league, we have to go to my Los Angeles Clippers.
Man, we're tired of hearing about
they are the deepest team in the league.
Clippers.
They don't have.
And with Kawhi Leonard, we have one of the top 5 players in the league.
No, Kawhi is not top 5 this year.
Kawhi is top 5 in the league.
No, he's not.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
No, he's not.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a question right here. If Kawhi wins this championship this year,
okay,
besides Steph Curry and LeBron James, who else got multiple championships? He has to be top 5. Stop it.
What are you talking about? Kevin Durant
wins. Yeah, Kevin Durant.
I'm not talking about the Warriors. I'm not. Anybody on the Warriors don't count. Besides the Warriors and LeBron, if Kawhi gets the 2, then he's the only one in this era
sir.
besides LeBron James and Steph Curry in them
right.
to get multiple championships.
Well, how dare you disrespect? How dare you disrespect?
How he's not top 5?
San Antonio Spurs molded him to get that championship when Tim Duncan was on his way out. He had Manu Ginobili, he had Tony Parker, he had a team. He learned how to play in a system because of
a great
Spurs
system
and Popovich, right? He leaves the Spurs to go to Toronto, where they also had a good system because their coach coached underneath Greg Popovich. You know
I'm
why?
not denying none of that. I'm saying he's a top 5 player.
No. He's not a top 5.
And he's going to solidify it with a championship in LA this year.
No, I'm sorry, sir.
So the Clippers are the betting favorites right now in the Western Conference.
Yeah, that's
the only one. The only ones that have a higher bet rating is the New Jersey Nets. So
because
the betting odds are saying that the Clippers and the Nets are the championship.
Never.
That's what the world is saying. So you guys are talking from an underdog standpoint, whether you guys want to admit it or not. You guys are the underdogs. So enjoy your little banner. You know what I'm saying? Shave your little face.
17 of them.
And do whatever you want.
17 of them.
Why don't you guys work on getting one first? Get your first one.
Can we get your first one? Championship?
Hey, y'all got the mic.
I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize, sir. I apologize.
It's okay. It's okay. I knew this was going to happen. You guys are just so happy about your teams. Once again, Derrick Rose for 6 man, and most of the now let's go back to the Clippers.
Randall gonna get most.
Let's go back to the Clippers.
Oh shit!
My question to Kalum is this: going back to the 6 man of the year and the most approved player for 2021, you guys had Kawhi, MPG play against Derrick Rose. And Derrick Rose cooked you guys. You guys struggled with Derrick Rose. Game. You guys struggled with Derrick Rose.
Well, we're talking about a 7-game series when we're talking about the playoffs. And when we're talking about a 7-game series, the Knicks are not going to beat anybody, not even in the East. Maybe Toronto. Maybe both. Now that Jaylen Brown has got injured, maybe y'all could take out the Celtics. But you see the way Miami's playing, maybe Indiana. The Celtics and Indiana are the only ones that the Knicks can possibly get out the first round. They're not getting out the first round.
Last time I checked, we went to the West Coast. We're on the West Coast spree right now, and we whooped on your team. That's the last time I checked. Last time I checked, Derrick Rose went to the Staples Center, took out both of your main players, and you had Rondo.
Y'all just kidding.
He cooked y'all. That's the last time I checked. So what I'm going with, I'm not coach or anything. I'm just going off with these eyeballs and everything like that. and everything like that. If Derrick Rose with the New York Knicks, that they weren't even supposed to be in the playoffs in the first place. If Derrick Rose is cooking you, and I go off of last year, and y'all got eliminated.
Okay, but the question is, they're the betting favorites in the Western Conference.
Who do you see in the West?
Who do you see in the Western Conference that you see winning the West over the Clippers? Since you're stating
the Phoenix Suns. Listen, I'm just choosing.
Are you choosing the Lakers?
No, listen to me, gentlemen. Listen to me, gentlemen. The reason why I don't have an ounce of doubt in my team, regardless what stats say, is that we're not looking at playoff Lakers. We're looking at regular season Lakers. We're looking at regular season numbers. We're looking at regular season superstars. Unfortunately for the 4 of us on this podcast this afternoon, we have forgotten that the Lakers literally have the best playoff player in NBA history. I'm not wearing a LeBron James jersey, so I'm not trying to dick ride my man, but I'm saying when the playoffs come, there's
y'all got
one
Michael Jordan?
factor. No. There's one factor. There's two factors when it comes to the playoffs. Anybody that's been drafted from 03 and up, like real 03 and up, they don't have like that it. LeBron is just old and he's big and he plays like magic. So he's going to be able to will the Lakers through any series that we come across. Now, if we lose against the Warriors in the play-in, we're going to beat the other two teams and we'll still be the eighth seed. The one team that I, as a Laker fan and as an analyst of the NBA, is worried about is CP3 and the Phoenix Suns. There is nobody touching CP3 and Dayton on the pick and roll. That is pick and roll. Dude, it's literally like Lob City 2.0, but you have Devin Booker on the wing. You have a bunch of young athletic players supporting Chris Paul as they all said, hey, bro, we looked up to you. We wanted to be you when we were younger, so we're going to help you get that MVP. We're going to help you get your one championship. So just in case you end up retiring, you can say you left on top, even though you already passed Magic Johnson. You already did this. You already did that. There's no other team that is buying into their leader like the Phoenix Suns. Utah has Donovan Mitchell. He came up a little short last year after having one of the most epic duels with Jamal Murray. Like, literally, they had a great series between Denver and Utah. But he's not going to be able to do it by himself. Denver has a great team with Jokic, and you got JaVale McGee on the bench, and you also got Aaron Gordon. They lost Murray, but they picked up Austin Rivers. They got a good team. The only problem I'm having is what this topic is. Clippers are betting favorites in the Western Conference. They were also the betting favorites last year. They were the betting favorites before Paul George and Kawhi Leonard came. Matter of fact, when the Clippers received Chris Paul off of that veto trade that came out earlier this year, the Clippers then were number one to win the West. And they didn't even pass Memphis Grizzlies, who ended up coming back off of a 3-1 or 3-0 deficit. So I don't want to be an asshole because you talk about this. Wait, hold on. I'm going to say it real quick, y'all.
Mayor, I
don't want to be rude and talk about the Clippers like as if they've never done anything relevant. I believe they are one of the most exciting, compelling, and entertaining teams in the regular season to date. In history. Like, oh my God. I even have a Clippers hat in my room, but I don't have a Clippers banner on my wall.
Wait. And to add on to what the mayor has said, and then we can drop the mic here. Did you know, Calum? Did you know that the Dallas Mavericks and the Portland Trail Blazers have the same record? So let's say Portland loses the rest of their games. Guess who y'all gonna have to go against first in the first round? The Portland Trail Blazers. And serve my memory right. Didn't Game already cook your boy Paul George with the game winning? So you guys really
that was an OKC.
That
was a whole different type of team. That was a whole different type of team. I am not worried about no Dame Dollar.
Y'all better hope y'all play Dallas Mavericks in the first round. And then don't just
Vegas is telling you put your money where your mouth is, and if you're gonna do that, you might want to put it on the Clippers.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. The betting odds is telling you what it is.
They just basically saying they are the sneak team of the West. That's why they have that whatever. I don't even look at. I don't look at shit like that. Like honestly, I don't look at shit like that. But if you wanted to put your money on something, it would be it's a great investment because if they do win, it's going to be a great payout. If they do win, if they miraculously win the championship, it's going to be a great payout. That's why it's like that. But that's far-fetched.
To everybody that is watching this right now,
it's very far-fetched.
You're not investors or anything like that, but I will encourage you not to put your money on the Clippers. Just put it in Deutsch. You got a better chance of winning.
Oh, wow. Wow.
You guys are disrespectful.
Disrespectful.
All right, well, we got to get to this NBA, man. So, white privilege has struck again in America. Tim Tebow never played a down
as a tight end ever in his life, but he has signed a contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars as a tight end. You got niggas like Dez Bryant on the sideline, not even getting a tryout, not even getting a run. But Tim Tebow, who's never played any other position in quarterback, he's just been signed, not offered, signed. Inked the deal.
Free check.
With the Jacksonville Jaguars.
He's not even going to play.
What's your thoughts on this?
I go first. I don't give a damn. Tim Tebow ain't even going to – I don't even think he's going to play. It's a payday for him. Like, it's a payday. He might play. He might not play. I don't know what the fuck is going on in the NFL, but if you a nigga and you a wide receiver trying to catch the ball, it doesn't look like they ain't giving you no damn job. Look at Dez. That's fucked up. Why you going to put my nigga Dez like that?
That's so wrong.
Hey, fuck these niggas, man. I'm riding for my nigga Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant was arguably one of the best wide receivers in the league at the time that he got shoved out. So this is crazy just to have Tim Tebow back in the lead after he didn't play baseball. This nigga then was man, what is going on? Hey, I'm gonna just be real. Hey, look, he prayed for this, dog. He prayed for this, man. He's scared. He prayed for this shit.
Hey, nah. Look. I'll keep it a buck with you. You want to know the real reason why they're letting Tim Tebow back in? When Tim Tebow left the Florida Gators, there was like this aura around him, like as if he was like a Southern country boy that had the right morals, the right values. You know, almost like as if he wasn't white. You know what I mean? Like he was the great white hope, but they never talked about his nationality or his race. You know what I mean? It was just like, wow, he's such an exceptional person. And, you know, if more people were like Tim Tebow, we might even have a better society. I mean, they did grow him so hard that it was like, so what? Are we just going to give him a Super Bowl as soon as he comes into the league? You know what I mean? And let's not forget, didn't he end up, his last season, he was with the Broncos, right? With the Broncos.
No, he was with the Broncos. He was with
and he got traded, right?
He was with the Eagles. Did he go to the Jets? He was with the Jets. And then he was with the Eagles his last stint. He was with the Eagles.
Okay. So check it. So he was with the Eagles, and after he left the Eagles, that's when they end up winning their championship or their Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
If you let Tebow in now, and don't get me wrong, you know what I mean? I'm sorry if it comes across as rude as it means, or as rude as I intended. You let Tebow in now, they're basically trying to lighten the boom from when Colin Kaepernick drops his book about defunding the police. They're trying to get people to feel good again about the NFL because there was a moment last year when they were talking about how this upcoming season was going to go. People were like, you know what? As much as I love the NFL, they're going to keep fighting over this standing and sitting shit. I don't even care anymore. A lot of people were saying it, but more of those diehard, nationalists wanted to make sure that I have my football and I want it on Sunday. So why wouldn't America's sweetheart get the opportunity to come back and do something that they love watching him do compared to anybody that we know? I mean, let's not forget Tony Romo was one of the worst quarterbacks in NFL history, but had the highest potential. You know what I mean? Like no one like Dak Prescott didn't get his money the way he should have got his money the way Tony Romo got his money. You know what I mean?
When you brought up Kaepernick, it's obvious that the NFL is still hurting from the ratings that they lost with the whole Kaepernick debacle. That's why you're adding a 17 game. So now you added another game. It's 17 games now, not 16. You took away a preseason game because ain't nobody watching no damn preseason. Now you over here, the Jacksonville Jaguars are signing Tim Tebow. That shit is all PR, man. They trying to get their bag. They trying to get their money up. They know that Tim Tebow is going to sell a bunch of jerseys.
Yes, sir, he is. Oh, wait, Kalum, did you hear? They signed Tim Tebow with the Jaguars, right? Yeah. I haven't heard a cricket about the Washington football team. Can they get a name before you fucking sign Tim Tebow back to the NFL?
No, that is their team. That the owner was so fucking racist that when he changed his name, he said, "Oh, well, if y'all gonna force me to change my name, then I'm gonna change it to the football team." So that is the official name. It's not no temporary branding. They are officially the Washington football team going forward.
That changes everything. That changes everything. Wow.
Hey,
That you know what that means? That means the NFL is really in dire needs. That means they're really falling off. They're really falling off.
I don't think that they're falling off. I think that the owners are used to making $100 billion a year, and now the owners are making $80 billion a year. And now they trying to figure out how to get back to $100 billion a year.
If your money
But
hurts,
are they hurting? No. Are they? Can they still pay Patrick Mahomes $300 million to play quarterback for next year? They could afford that with nothing because they're gonna make $300 billion off of it. So
definitely,
it's never gonna equate, man.
Definitely.
The NFL, man. I don't know. My interest in it has just been going down and dwindling every year. And when you hear about shit like this, and when you got dogs like Dez Bryant was a dog, man. This nigga sitting at home right now. Especially, y'all never tried him at tight end. I would try Dez Bryant, big ass, at tight end before I tried fucking Tim Tebow at tight end.
And Tim Tebow was a red. Like if you think about it, when you're in high school, when you're in college, when you're a quarterback, you wear a different color jersey, so you don't get as much. Contact, right? Because we don't want you to be injured. So you're telling me Tim Tebow's not only going to block like I don't know who's one of the great DNs right now, but he's also going to shed a block and take a pass in the inside and get lit up. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see him taking
They're gonna bring him in for gadget plays, bring him in 3-4 plays a game just to be like Tim Tebow. And if he could throw one touchdown or if he could score a goal line touchdown and sit at the press conference and
that is bullshit.
Say some shit,
that is some bullshit.
And they gonna love it, man. They just want him to score a 3-yard QB draw or something and keep it pushing.
The Jaguars haven't been relevant, so they're trying to find ways to get relevant again.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Paper, so they're like, let's bring Tebow in, bring in the black.
They got Urban Meyer. No, they got Urban Meyer, which was Tim Tebow's college coach. So the coach from Florida, where he won all those championships, is now coaching in Jacksonville.
So that's the whole reason why he's there. Then he wants
to change the your man's. It's not about what you know; it's about who you know.
Shout out to my boy DK Metcalf, though.
See
how he got dusted in that 100 meters, though.
But come on now, that big dude.
He still ran under 11 seconds.
Hey, he was moving. Well, I thought he was going to be like top 3, and he wasn't.
Nah, he's too big, bro.
So we got to get into these politics, man, because politics. Yes, after the election, people, we still have politics. Shit is still going on every day. After stimulus checks, politics still goes on every day, guys, whether you know it or not. So, California, we've been having some fucked up governors. So, with Governor Newsom getting ready to be on his way out of there, we got Caitlyn Jenner.
Look, it's a lot of dogs. But it's a lot. Hey, think about it.
Caitlyn Jenner is now running for governor for California. She didn't put her bid in. What's y'all thoughts on Caitlyn Jenner?
I'm going in first. Okay. Before we talk about the politics that Caitlyn Jenner wants, or the title that she wants, the person wants to run for.
I can't wait till you go across the middle.
The thing that bothers me the most, I guess, is the fact that everything about Bruce Jenner has been controversial since they said he was the greatest American athlete of all time. When I was younger and I heard about the decathlon and heard about Bruce Jenner, it was like he wasn't real. You know what I mean? And as much as I love the Kardashians and the Jenner women as far as just being attractive and bringing bullshit to the world and making girls like my own think differently about themselves, and I'm being sarcastic, I can't listen to a damn thing this man says, because he said, without saying it,
he's not a man. He's a woman now. He's transitioned.
He
legally
completely transitioned now? No.
Yes,
legally
he's
he
a
changed
woman.
his name and his gender, but up until you telling me now, he had always said that he hadn't changed anything down low. But if he's officially now a woman, good for him or her. But what I'm saying is, when that whole transaction happened, it was almost like as if he was telling the world, why are you following the women that are in my house when they're not worth shit? You want to see what a real bitch looks like? And he became a woman and won the Woman of the Year award. I don't know how a man transitions into a woman and then wins the Woman of the Year award. So for him now to be running into or running for Senate or mayor or governor or whatever,
Governor.
all this governor, I apologize. All it's showing is that we don't mean shit as black people in America. Like that's all. Like all that. That's all I feel internally is that it doesn't matter if I have my hair braided or if I have waves. It doesn't matter if I have a half Hispanic, half white wife, or if I have a black wife. It doesn't matter. I'm not cool enough as a white man who's become a white woman and then now wants to compete in politics. And is he a part of the LGBT community?
I don't know how that works.
I don't either.
I don't know if you opt
afraid.
into the community or not, or are you just classified? I don't know.
I'm just saying, but look, I'm just saying with all of those different factors, right, that go into this person, I find it to be a very, very sticky situation to have you leading a state. There's too many potential red flags or asterisks that would have people going, I understand what you're saying, but I don't support this part of your lifestyle. I don't support this part of your lifestyle. So that would be the end of the world, or not the world, but of our nation. And California would end up subsiding.
So
you can't say shit. You can't say anything because it's not right. Calum, it's not right. You grew up being told by your family what you see in the mirror is who you are. Now, whatever Bruce Jenner or Caitlyn Jenner chooses to be now is up to him or her. But politics cannot be that black and white. You know what I mean? It has to be some type of gray area. And you can't let someone like that come in and change the way the world or the state is already being ran when we feel like it's being ran into the dirt anyway.
I think that Caitlyn made a statement saying that the reason why she's running now is that during her transition as a transgender, she wouldn't have been accepted. And now that she's done with the transition period, now she can fully run as herself.
I don't know how okay. Caitlyn Jenner's children still say Happy Father's Day. That in itself becomes a conflict of interest for me with your leadership skills when you're conflicting between who you are, what you are, and where you come from. You know what I mean? Like, I know we're not talking about transgender. We're talking about politics. Transgender, racism, and what else? Child abuse are probably three of the biggest problems we have in California right now. I mean, my community got the whole Gabriel Fernandez thing all the way up to Netflix. I didn't hear Caitlyn Jenner talk about any of it. When I hear about, anything of relevance, anyone from the Kardashian or Jenner camp never speaks up on it because they're above the law. I don't feel that is a good look to put this person in office, because then we're laughing even more than when Kanye said that he was going to run for president.
Well, I think, man, at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do about it, because this is what California is known for.
Yes, sir.
This is what we do. We wouldn't put somebody like Kalum in office. Let's say you put Kalum's brain in a white person's body, right? Because we know if Kalum was Kalum and he ran, it would be a lot harder for him because just his skin color. So we're gonna make it even. Kalum's brain in a white person's body. Us as Californians, we won't vote for Kalum. Even though he got all the knowledge in the world and he can break it down in layman's terms for you, but we won't vote for him. So people are going to just vote for Miss Jenner, Caitlyn, whatever you want to go by. They're going to vote for her. Just the same way California voted for the governor. We vote for famous. If you famous, you can run and you can win. That's how it is at the end of the day. Any famous person wants to run. If your face is on TV, then you got a chance of being the governor of California. We put Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. Now, Caitlyn's going, well, these dummies put Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. He ain't even from America. We voted him. Hell,
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Facts.
I can do this too. Because I'm a Jenner that's mixed with the Kardashians. Oh, I can do this. So, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it.
It's funny though.
Close to
It's
winning.
funny though because she voted for Trump in the last election, but then they came out and they asked her, "Did she vote in the last election?" And she said she did not. But then they come out and find out that she did vote, and she voted for Trump. And we already know that Kim Kardashian was involved with the Trump administration as far as getting people out of jail. So we already know that your family has ties with Trump. So don't try to distance yourself from the movement or from your political belief system now that you're trying to run for yourself. So the question is me, is Caitlyn Jenner running as a Republican or a Democrat? Because Republicans don't accept all the gay marriages and all the gays and the transgender. So
is she gonna get rid of
answer the question? No, look, you just answered your own question. So Caitlyn decided not to run while she was still considered legally a man, right? Because anyone on the Republican side would then just completely shun the idea of that person winning as governor, right? You go through with the procedure. Now you run as a Democrat, right? You win off the publicity, off of the fandom, right? But then you still have your in, like we all know, blue or red, politics or politics. She's still gonna be able to rub elbows with the right person, get the different things done that needs to be done. And you know what's really funny? You would have thought Kris Jenner would have ran for office before Caitlyn Jenner, right? We even joked right now, Yaji K and I said, because he's a part of that whole Kardashian thing. Bruce Jenner shits on Robert Kardashian before the O.J. Simpson trial. Bruce Jenner is one of the most, like if I'm not mistaken, one of the most famous American athletes of all time. So if you think about it, okay, my bad. So then what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, really think about it. When Caitlyn was born, everything up until she transitioned, if none of it mattered, so then the marriage with Kris Jenner didn't matter. The 2 children that he had didn't matter as much. The grandchildren don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you like?
Exactly.
I thought about it. You know what I'm saying?
What is the process on background checks now?
Shoo.
The process on that background check or vetting her into office has to be something unheard of because you can't go through the normal process. You don't have the normal background.
You don't even have. Caleb, am I wrong, or is it if you're born Bruce, but then you transition to Caitlyn? Are you as old as your birth certificate says, or are you now starting all over?
You still have to. When you do government, you're still gonna have to give maiden names. You're still gonna have to give previous aliases and address. So when you do the background check, your background check is still gonna be mostly of Bruce Jenner,
right? So
not Caitlyn,
right?
It's pretty much like the name change.
So basically we're gonna give her a job, but we're gonna give him a background check.
Yes.
And it's the same person. I don't know, man. That's a slippery slope, man. I don't think that
the system is ready to deal with something like that. I think that this is definitely going to bring it to a forefront, and they're going to have this conversation on how we deal with this shit
For real.
because this is part of the new world, man, and you're going to have to plan for it and be ready for it, man. It's just crazy
Did you?
that it's happening in California with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You
Speaking of
saw that.
California, hold
Go
on.
ahead.
Speaking of
Go ahead.
California, man, June
What?
15th, Governor Newsom is saying that the mask mandate will be lifted. No more masks in public spaces. No more mask mandate in California. I think that I don't know how many states have already went forward with lifting the mask mandate, but as far as California, June 15th will basically be completely open. No more masks.
My question is, what is, I wouldn't say the agenda, but what is the rules behind that? You know, hey, you don't have to, you no longer have to wear your mask, but you have to be vaccinated. So if that's the case, then I'm going to continue to wear my mask. You know, even though, in my opinion, in the beginning, the mask did nothing in the first place. We're all walking around with masks, and the way my mind was thinking about it was, okay, everybody that I seen and everybody I know is walking around with a mask on. So let me just say, let's say there's about 80% of Americans walking around with a mask on. And everybody's still getting COVID. And the number is shooting up and everybody's wearing a mask. Back in the day, I was already thinking, well, these masks ain't working. Because if the mask is supposed to work how they're supposed to work, then why is the COVID number going up? So they should have been lifted this whole little mask thing. But now they may just replace it out. Nobody has to wear masks, but all y'all gotta get vaccinated. Oh, wait. Just like how the commercials go. Get vaccinated for everybody.
You see, but they still have a federal mandate on wearing masks. So how can the states tell you can't wear masks? You don't have to wear masks, but then the government still has a federal mandate on you wearing a mask. This shit is like retarded. It's a direct contradiction. The main government say you can't smoke weed, but then California say weed is legal and sell it to you. It's like, which one is it, nigga? Like the government still want to be able to throw your ass in jail if they want to. So they say it's legal, but then they say it's illegal at the same damn time.
So does that mean I'll be by like June 15th, I can walk up into freaking Walmart with no mask?
Yep. They are lifting the mask mandate. No more masks.
Is it going to be a clause in there where certain businesses can be like, we can refuse service to you if you don't wear a mask?
Yes.
Then everybody's still going to wear a mask because it ain't. The businesses are just going to be like, well, everybody's going to be scared because of COVID. So, because they're pumping on TV already, if you're not wearing a mask and you're not getting vaccinated, you're freaking, you got like the cooties. So you shouldn't, nobody, it's like, what is it? I Am Legend. Yeah, I Am Legend, when they had to put everybody in one little particular spot. Yeah, that's going to be all of us that are not vaccinated.
Well, you know, they also added to the fact that you could also like get like a lanyard to notify other people that you've already been vaccinated while not having a mask on too. To where, you know, like if you walk in and they're like, oh, you don't have a mask on, you can't come in. No. Look, I'm vaccinated. Oh, okay, sure, come on in. It's all about, I don't even think this really has anything to do with the COVID-19 at all right now. I really think this has to do with trying to keep big business, making good money, and then completely kill off the middle class and the lower class.
It has to do with events.
Events? Oh, you mean like
they lost too much revenue and they need money.
Well, yeah, but that's why though. I mean, think about it. Like, you had how many vendors for a concert? You know what I mean? Like how many different companies made money off of, like, say, a J. Cole concert or the Baby concert or Cardi B or Nicki Minaj or whatever. So it's like they know they can't make the same money they made off of live streaming things, right? But they also want to get us all back in the arenas. Not like, like the events, yeah, but they want to get us in the seats to buy concession, to buy merch, to you know,
ancillary products.
there you go. That's
But
it.
they want to pump you with that's what they're saying. If you look at the commercials are coming out and saying, hey, you want to go back to a Dodger game? Get vaccinated.
Right.
So they're pushing the agenda to go get vaccinated. Why do you want everybody to get vaccinated? Is there something in this vaccine that I don't know about? Yeah, most likely.
Something in the Johnson for sure.
Facts. Facts.
So they got an agenda with this whole mask thing.
So let's get to this last topic, man.
The George Floyd Justice Policing Act was passed in 2020. Passed in the in the House, and now it sits on the Senate floor collecting dust. So last podcast we talked about how Joe Biden is over here writing executive orders for everybody but black people, but we have a piece of legislation sitting in the Senate as we speak, just collecting dust. And by the time that they're done filibustering and they actually take a vote on this, I guarantee you it passed unanimously damn near in the House. It's not going to pass like it was in the House, in the Senate. So they're really not trying to give us any legislation, man. Like, they're going to kill us. They're going to put the nigga in jail, and that's it. So the George Floyd Act bans a chokehold, has a progressive disciplinary matrix, gives the other officers a duty to intervene, meaning you can't just sit back and watch George Floyd get killed, because then you go down for murder just like Chauvin. So you have a duty to interfere. You have a duty to render aid, meaning you can't just let the guy die like they do with so many of us. They arrest us, they shoot us, put us in handcuffs, and let us sit there and bleed out dying. So that's just a few things that the George Floyd Act is proposing to change as far as policing in America. But it sits on the Senate floor, not being voted on. What's your thoughts?
No disrespect to George Floyd, no disrespect to Steven Jackson, who's been fighting since the day he passed. But I feel like this is just legislation to let us feel like something is going to get done, because we've all felt like this is the last straw. For the WNBA, it was Breonna Taylor, and they dedicated the whole season to her as far as that bubble season. But if you think about it, like when Trayvon Martin got killed, there was a lot of things done. There was so many specials on BET, CNBC. Like, it was huge. It was huge. But there was no legislation. There was no potential bill to be passed to try to stop, an unarmed black kid from being killed by basically a neighborhood watchman. You know what I mean? So I think this is just because of the amount of attention that it gained and the fact that we're coming post-pandemic. Even though we're still in it, we're towards the end. So it's like, if we're going to let everyone take their mask off, and we're going to, not necessarily force people to have vaccinations, but we want them to get vaccinated, we're going back to the norm, but this isn't going to be the norm. Let's make black people think we're going to give them a little bit of help in the places that they only complain about. I mean, literally, we don't complain about anything more than the way the police takes advantage of us, and then the way society in general just spits in our face. So this is one of those, like, I hope you guys can hold on for the rest of 2021, because when 2022 hits, y'all niggas is done. And I don't mean literally like that's their plan, but I mean like the average black man, when 2022 hits, it's not like you're going to be able to be an entrepreneur like you want to be because everybody's gotten screwed over by all the, the SBA and PPP stuff. Like this is all to completely take away the power of the power.
Man, oh man, that's going back to what I've been saying since we changed hands. To everybody that voted for Joe Biden, my people that voted for Joe Biden, why aren't we keeping that same energy? Because if this was President 45, we'd be all on his neck. We'll be on this podcast talking about Trump ain't doing he ain't doing nothing. But when it comes to Joe, smoking Joe, we ain't even like Joe Biden just get a pass. I mean, I have heard more deaths so far, like with Joe Biden, and he ain't coming out and saying nothing about nothing.
It's been like 170 something mass shootings this year since Joe Biden has taken office.
Now, if this was the other dude, it will be all over CNN and all these other broadcasts. Look at this, all because of Trump, blah, 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 blah. But we ain't keeping that same energy and the same pressure on Joe Biden and the neck of Joe Biden and the vice president. We ain't doing that. And now they thinking, because we ain't putting that pressure on them, going like, yo, Joe, what you doing? They thinking, hey, we gave you guys, we put the man in jail. So we did. We gave y'all something. Y'all should be happy. Now y'all want us to pass a law for y'all too? Y'all ungrateful. You didn't see you black people just ungrateful. Y'all just ungrateful. But somebody like Kalum come out and be like, hey, didn't you just pass this for the Asians? And didn't you just pass this for the transgender community? Why aren't you passing anything for us? And we just sitting back, like Kalum said. We just sitting back going, hey, yo, bro gave me that stimulus check, though. No, he gave me this stimulus check. And there ain't no pressure on Joe when Joe ain't doing nothing. And if it was the other guy, we'll be all over him talking about he's racist and blah, blah, blah. And look at, he's causing division. But when it comes to Joe, Joe can't do no wrong. Joe do no wrong. That's his name. Joe do no wrong.
Hey, yeah, you said that, and I think it's funny too. Like Kalum, I don't know how many older black people that you still hang out with or talk to. My grandmother, my mom's mom. When I tell you she hated Donald Trump just because. I'm talking about, I've never heard her speak of Donald Trump before. When I used to point him out on Little Rascals, she used to be like, oh, you better watch, that's that man with that money. He got that long money, right? She said, oh, 45, I just can't stand 45. Every time something happens, you have to see him on damn television. We don't need to hear how you feel about what's going on in the world, right? That's what she used to say on a daily basis, because these type of things happen on a daily basis, right? I asked my Nana, still haven't went to her house because of COVID and all this. I was like, Nana, so how you feel about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? Like, are you happy with them being in office? Oh, yeah, as long as 45 is out there, I don't give a damn who it is. I said, well, what about the fact that they haven't addressed the nation about a lot of these shootings and a lot of these negative things going on? She was like, well, you know what? They just gonna keep killing us off until we gone anyway. I just was tired of hearing him talk the way he was talking. So it wasn't like none of the people above us generationally really understand what the fuck is going on in politics.
Your audio going out.
But off of what the mayor what he was saying, that's the energy. Everybody wanted it Trump out. Now that we got Trump out. Ain't nobody going, damn, my God. Trump out. But Joe is worse. Joe is doing a better job than Trump is. Long as Trump is out,
what the hell's going on? This shit is echoing like a mug. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Shit.
Do.
Can you hear me
Man,
now?
Alvin, you
Can
the
you hear me
kitchen.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you
Oh,
now.
okay, my bad. So yeah, so basically, I was saying that old black people they didn't know, who they were really voting for. They were really just trying to get Donald Trump out of office because they were a part of the problem, not a part of the solution. And now you got younger folks like us that are sitting here trying to figure out how to make sense of this shit when there's now no one to get advice from. You know what I mean? Like we don't have the uncles, the grandparents. We don't. We're old, like low key the old heads, the OGs. All the young ones are looking up to us. Like, what do we do next? And if we all say fight, we ain't got nothing to look forward to because the shit
Mm-hmm.
that they're putting on television, the stuff they're putting on CNN, like literally, I haven't seen the man still. I think there was one additional like meeting or addressing of the nation, right, Caleb? Since he's been
Mm-hmm.
elected in office, but we're
Yeah,
talking about we're in mid-May right now. We
I've
would have
seen him.
seen Donald Trump at least 6 times this month already.
I've seen him 3 times. He did the first address. He came out a week and a half after the stuff when Houston was froze over, and then
Right.
he came out. He came out after the Chauvin trial, and him and Kamala came out there claiming victory as if they did something.
And how many shootings have happened? And he ain't.
178 or something like that.
So to everybody, all my people that we voted for, we voted Trump out and we voted Joe in. It's okay for us to say, "Oh damn, we fucked up." It's okay. It's all right because he ain't no better, and he ain't doing better than what Trump was. At least Trump talked his nonsense and was like he said stupid stuff, but
And the economy is not
ain't no better.
resurging. The PPP is going to the scammers, so it ain't creating no jobs. The,
Facts.
the big companies that got the PPP, they ain't creating no new jobs. If anything, they're transitioning to hybrid or at home jobs. So if
Yep.
anything, they're cutting overhead because they're gonna not no longer have office buildings with 500 employees. Half of the employees are gonna be working out of the house now. So
It's
But
okay.
Caleb, isn't that them jumping into our lane? You know what I mean? Like Hispanics and blacks have always been the most resourceful as to
mhm.
working from home. Women can braid hair, men cut hair, cut grass. You know what I mean? We're carpenters. You know what I mean? Like we do whatever we can to make sure we have enough money to spend for our families, right? Those
Yeah.
people who messed around and got the PPPs, the SBAs, and screwed them over, that didn't apply it to their jobs the proper way, or maybe they even have a business and just thought this was going to be an easy way for them to cash out. Now, not only are they going to be affected, their kids and their families are going to be affected. And who are they going to go to get help from? They can't even go to
Exactly.
McDonald's.
You see now, I think it's something around 90% of consumerism in America is by black people.
Yep.
So giving
Wow.
us all this STEMI money and PPP money, they're just giving it to us so that we could go spend it at white establishments, and then the
Yep.
money could get circulated right and back into the white people's pockets. And as niggas, what is we doing? We going and buying chains, cars, bullshit, and that's it. Like Baby Blue from Pretty Ricky, he got like something over $1 million in PPP money, and he got caught buying like Ferraris and shit like that. Like this shit is dumb. Like
But how do you get that amount of money? Who's processing these loans and paperwork to let someone who has nothing come across and assume or at least look like they have something?
because the problem with the government is that factions don't share information with each other. So the
True.
county doesn't share information with EDD. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
the CIA doesn't share information with the FBI. Every government organization is a standalone organization. So you can have, let's say you can get WIC from the county and food stamps,
Then you could turn around and get unemployment. Then you could turn around and get a PPP loan. Then you could turn around and get Section 8 because all of these businesses or government programs are separate. Now, eventually, once they start to
investigate.
since all the scamming has been going on, all these systems are they're trying to integrate with each other. So 3-4 years from now, niggas gonna look up and y'all niggas gonna be caught, or y'all Section 8, or y'all unemployment. You might have ran up unemployment now, but guess what? You'll probably, even if you don't go to jail, you'll probably never be able to get unemployment ever again in your life. So you better go get a job, and you better hold on to it, and you better not ever get fired because
they gonna garnish everything.
Exactly. The county, you get count on food stamps counterfeit or Section 8 counterfeit, you're disqualified for life. You'll never be able to get food stamps or Section 8 again. So whatever y'all doing with this money, y'all better make it stretch, man, because even if y'all don't go to jail, you're eliminating yourself in these programs and these help, and the black community, that's going to destroy us. That's going to destroy us. So I hope we got a plan. But, man, let's get some shout-outs before we get up out of here.
All right. Shout out to PolitiKan Forum. Shout out Brand of Encouragement. Shout out to Adidas Hustle. Yes, I'm shouting out Yajiket's Instagram tag. Shout out to Toya, who hooked up my braids, Yaz braids that he doesn't have right now, my daughter's braids. And shout out to everybody who wakes up every day, who feel like they didn't wake up as an accident, that they know there's something important for their life. Keep doing you. We need more of you.
Shout out to the PolitiKan podcast broadcast and all the casting, baby. Yeah, shout out to the Focus on the Future, Brand of Encouragement. Shout out to Man Things. Shout out to Running Wild. So, to give y'all a little brief background and everything like that before I was married. So, I seen my wife and everything like that. And she was walking by, and I was like, "Hey, what's up, girl? Can I get your number?" She's like, "I don't know about that." I was like, "Why not?" She was like, "I got a boyfriend." I was like, "What? You got a boyfriend?" And I was like, "Well, I got a math test." And she was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, you said you got a boyfriend, right?" And she was like, "Yeah." "Well, I got a math test." And she was like, "I don't get it." I was like, "Oh, my bad. I thought we were talking about things we can cheat on."
Yeah, you always burnt out, man. So we got Sip and Paint, man, this weekend. We got Stephen G live next weekend. We got a comedy show, your live streaming experience comedy show next weekend. So tap in for all these events. We getting to it, man. 2021 this summer. We finna go crazy, man.
Hey, I got a question. Yeah, I got a question about the comedy show.
What up?
I was wondering if I can get on it because I got.
Hey, man, what's good? I'll give you a 10-minute set, man.
Okay, I just need 10 seconds. I can go right now. I just go right now.
Thrown at your head.
I'm shoot. I can go right now. Okay, so there's 2 cupcakes, right? The first cupcake looked at that cupcake and was like, "Oh man, it's hot up in here." The other cupcake looked at that cupcake and was like, "Oh, damn, it's a cupcake." That's my joke.
Whatever the hell that means, man. I don't know what you gonna do, but I'm gonna get to it, man. PolitiKan the podcast. We out of here.